Dear friends of this Paradiso workshop, I'm very sorry that I'm not here. I would like to have participated, but it's not possible, and I wish you an interesting conference, successful discussions, and good results which lead us further. I mean, this Paradiso workshop is associated to some extent with the Club of Rome. And you know that the Club of Rome, I don't remember exactly how many years ago, it was 40 years or something like that ago, they already formulated that limits of growth. And I think that's still today a major subject. And that's what we are fighting against. And of course, limits of growth is not homogeneous in all respects, but there are very clearly limits which we can't overcome. And limits which causes a lot of problem worldwide. And the divide between the poor and the rich ones, which becomes more pronounced by that, as the rich ones have always ways to adjust to the situation, while the poor ones don't. And they might just finally just starve or have no possibilities anymore for their own survival, while the rich ones, they can find solutions. So these problems will become more pronounced in the future. And that concerns, for example, energy, it concerns food, it concerns air quality, soil, and all these problems which we cannot just solve by a digital mean. That these are real problems which have something to do with our reality and which cause limits. And in addition, we have the population growth, and we have the demands of developing countries to reach an equal standard of living as we have it in the West, and that seems just to be incompatible. I don't see how we can reach that goal. So we all have to suffer somewhere. Of course, there are different dimensions which we can explore, like the virtual world, like the internet, and so on. They might solve certain of the problems, they might provide us a different world of experience, but the basic problems are not solved by these means. They remain, and we have to solve them in this or in another way. The internet has the possibility to activate our own initiative. That everybody can do something, he can become active. Internet, for example, is an ideal medium for sharing problems, sharing ideas, sharing solutions, and that can certainly help and can bring us together. But first of all, we have to bring up the will to share and to communicate, and without that will, it will not work. But when the will once exists, then the technical means, they are certainly marvelous, and they can do a lot to make it more efficient and perhaps also make it more attractive. And that is probably the most important issue altogether. I mean, to activate people to do something and to change their situation and to help. I mean, that's much better than being told by somebody you have to do that, and being forced to do it, if you do it by your own will. And the internet really has this feature that it stimulates this kind of personal activity. A lot of discoveries on the internet. When I'm giving in a keyword which I'm particularly interested in, and then suddenly this keyword has so many different meanings, and then it sidetracks myself to other fields where this term also is important. I wasn't aware of it at that moment. And that leads also to inspiration in some way. And I normally say that it's the analogies between different fields which are very important origins of creativity, that one steals, so to say, ideas from a different field and imports it into the field one is presently working on. And that leads then to real creativity. And I mean, same is true with my inventions which I have made. They normally are based on analogies, taking something from a different field where it has been used already, but I introduce it now into my field, and that's novel. And that can lead to patents, it can lead to fame, it can lead to great prizes even. But that's creativity by analogy. And on the internet this happens also. I mean, as I said, looking for a keyword, a general keyword, which you find suddenly it leads you to a completely different field. And so it's a world by itself, and you have to get acquainted to this world, and you can learn so much from it and can stimulate you. And as I said before, everybody can have that experience. It's not limited to those who are having a very powerful computer. You can do that with relatively simple machines. You need a fairly fast access to the net, and then you can do it. And so I could imagine that computers are becoming less expensive, and then even in Central Africa somewhere this could be possible. You have to provide means which everybody can use, where everybody can take advantage of, and if you can find ways of achieving that, then it makes us more happy as well. And we have the gratification that we have done something which lasts and which helps solve problems. And which, yeah, I mean, people are better informed today, and they're very fast. Response is possible by the public, and that has certainly an effect. I mean, voting by internet is also possible. I mean, we have to go to vote in Switzerland every second or third week, and I mean, something like that is feasible when you have an internet. We don't use it so much yet, but it would make it much easier. But then why not? I mean, why not having every week to vote about something? That would in principle be feasible. So this basic democracy would be possible in this way. So far it hasn't been exploited too much, but it could. So to participate really, that everybody can participate in politics, and by voting, by making your own selections. And yeah, I mean, that would be a way for the future.